Hello, and welcome back to Little Alchemist Helper with me, Mr. Andersam. Now, I know the day that the video this was uploaded, there we go, the portal is closed. So I made sure to record this early as to, it being restricted to every other week. And I definitely wanted to get this up soon, but not due to speedrunning videos back to back. Now, unfortunately, my request to have our own leaderboard on speedruns.com got denied. They said that my video was too short, which seems counterintuitive since it's a speedrun. But nonetheless, we will do a longer run. We will go 1 through 20 today, and we'll see if that is long enough to get a board set up, and then from there we can break it up into smaller categories. I also wonder if part of the issue is that I cut just the speed run out of my previous video and had that uploaded separately so that the submission reviewers didn't have to watch through a whole Little Alchemist Helper video to just get to the speed run, meaning that video had no viewership on it or really context. So this time I'm not going to do that. I'm simply just going to upload this video and then submit the whole thing. That being said, the speedrun folks will have access to this video sooner than everyone else to try and get that forum or that leaderboard built. Hopefully we can really get that done. Now, I've spent enough time talking. I'm just going to go ahead and start the speed run in 3, 2, 1, go. Nope, did it again. There we go. Now, after talking with some of you guys on the last speedrun video, they pointed out that a better start timer would probably be when you hit redraw or keep on this first hand with Anna. And I like that a lot. That's probably what I'll do if I do multiple runs of that today. But I did want to try and get the timer set on the begin, just in case, the rules are fluid. We have a pretty good, or I do at least, understanding of what they should be, but to get hard, steadfast rules that cover every scenario, obviously that's going to take a little bit of time to flesh out. Now, as far as strategy goes, you'll notice I'm not using the Elementalist power like I did last time. Oh, and I'm also not splitting. Oh. And yes, using a healing power is obviously going to slow me down. I do plan on switching halfway through the video, so I'll menu really, really quickly, try and get over to Master Elementalist as quickly as possible. That was a really quick Mr. Pym knockout. But we'll get there. I'm probably going to do that around Anna 2, after Anna 2. So just past the halfway point. I guess I could play it by ear, but for the sake of splits, I'm probably going to pick a point that works and just always plan on healing there unless unless I absolutely have to change plans just because I don't have enough health to make the end of the run. Now, there's a ton of randomness in these. I mean, you guys do heroics, you know that. What the opponent chooses and what cards they use. It's restricted to a pool, but just because the pool is so large that they can randomly draw from, a lot of the run decisions are made on the fly. But seeing as I'm already up over 100 health, I think that backing out after Anna 2, oh my goodness, splits. Backing out after Anna 2 is probably going to be the best. also getting practice, keeping track of splits is also going to be really, really important. I do want to do these live. I know I mentioned that in the last video. I'll take it. I wish I would have knocked him out, but I will take it. This run is not actually going very well. It's going better than my first attempt on the last one, but it's still not going very well. So on to there. Got a couple more before we menu, and then from there we can just keep going as an elementalist. And even though the opponents will be stronger the second time around, think that it should still be faster. And there goes Vera to a Francois. But like I said, I think these would be a lot of fun to do on a live stream rather than a dedicated video. But I want, I don't know, I want some more folks in on it, on the leaderboard. The leaderboard set up, have like a goal time to try and beat and alongside my splits. I know that's something that's possible. I need to put some more work into actually building out that timer. And if anybody wants a copy of the settings that I'm using to generate this timer, I can certainly pass those along to you. What I'm using to do that is a piece of software called Live Split. Most people familiar with speedrunning, especially people who do them, probably are aware of what that is. It seems to be the standard. Damn, I really wish I could get a final four. My goodness, I have way too much health. I mean, this really just shows, if you go back and watch this one compared to the speed run where I just did 1 through 10 and I used absorb cards to mitigate the healing and used a pure elementalist build, like just how crazy different the speed between, just that little bit of extra damage those orbs will do. I mean, you get the 10 at the start too. That's not nothing. See, now I have to be careful because Xanther, he can pack a wall up. Okay. Yeah, I can eat 16. I've got plenty. Now, I know I said I was going to do this after Anna 2, but with how much health I have, I'm probably just going to try and do this between the first and second grouping of 10. So here after Ella, I will break out and go switch it out to being Master Elementalist. Okay. That was risky. She would have reflected at that time. I would have been hosed. I mean, not hosed, but that would have been a huge chunk of health. Alright, let's knock her out. Even with. Okay. Now for the long split. Back. Okay, edit deck. So I already had it set on a different deck. You can just cheat it in there like that. I'm curious if what portal you enter in dictates which one you pop back out of. That might be a potential time save. gonna redraw that. We're still trucking along. We will see how far we can get. Hopefully we can get all the way through. Still got 100 cards to go. Still got plenty of health. Beautiful. Man, that's a not good hand. We'll see if we can bring this back around. No. I mean, of all the times to get a curse card played, that was it. Let's just knock out Albert, and we will move on to Mr. Pym. Now, looking back, I did the first 10 in 720, which is about 2 minutes longer than when I was just doing the first 10 and I had a deck specialized. So that's a pretty significant difference. You know, that's almost 1.5 times as long. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of strategies can be developed. And, you know, I'd be interested to see how much leftover I'm going to have with this deck. I'm not going to lie. I just basically took my regular Heroes deck, trimmed it down a little bit. I didn't feel like scrolling all the way through that to show you what that was. There's like 170 something cards in this thing. Normally I play with a couple of stall cards. To use when my opponent is full orbs to, you know, mitigate them either reflecting or cursing. But I figured I can just be a little bit riskier with this and make up for it. That Lucy split's going to be messed up. I split late after Mr. Pym and early after Lucy. Practice, man, practice, practice. I have plenty of practice with this game. I don't have a ton of practice speed running it and using split software. I hate these situations where you basically end up with no good combo. I always want to be building orbs, and so if I ever like am forced to play one of my extra final forms that I just kind of have in there as filler, I feel like I'm wasting, even though I was still able to just knock them out with that final form, no orbs. Okay. Now I've been really lucky with what powers that I've been dealt against here. It's been a lot of absorb, which is actually pretty easy to mitigate. I certainly don't need more health. Yeah, see, there's another absorb. That's not too bad. Got what, 4 more to go? This looks like he'll be less than less than 20 minutes. Grand Swan a second time. I probably should have kept that hand. Hindsight being 2020, but old habits of just trying to always be able to mix either gold or onyx cards with silver or bronze ones to just kind of keep everything balanced. Those habits kind of die hard. If I'm gonna really, really, really drive this time down as low as it possibly can go, I'll probably have to completely rework this deck. And then I can really just kind of forget about that general rule. So when I normally build a heroic deck to just go as far as you can into the trial, that's one of the things I do is I make sure I have an even number of gold or onyx cards to the number of bronze or silver, and I try and mix them together just because you get the most bang for your buck that way. Oof, there's a block. That's a wasted turn. There we go. It's much better. All right, and on to the final boss. Oh my goodness, I'm still under 15 minutes. I won't knock her out in 4 seconds, but hey, this is going exceedingly well. I assumed I was going to be up in the 20s just with how much time it took to build up the health, but now that I'm looking at having 179 health to finish, I realize that that was a waste. That was completely unnecessary. And having a set point when I break to keep my splits consistent probably is just not gonna. Yeah, it's a complete waste, but it will knock her out. And 1533. Now I'll go back in the video editing software and get a frame-to-frame match to get an actual time, which is why I think on the other video, the time in the OBS software was different than, or not the OBS, the live split software was different than the time that I put in the thumbnail. Just because I'm not very good with the live split software. My stuff is off. It was off by like a whole second. I'll get better at that. I mean, I'm sure that's just one of those things that the more you do it, the better I'm going to get. Now, this was actually my first run of the day, so I'm just going to carry this out and see it to the end. But I'll keep talking to you while I do it. I really enjoy this. I think it's a fun way to kind of breathe some life back into the heroics portal. I hope you guys can join me. I know not everyone can make it all the way through Ella 2, but like I said, I hope to have different categories that will make it so it's kind of an open playing field, regardless of how far you are into really maximizing your deck. I mean, obviously, I think you basically would have to complete the game before you really start speed running heroics. I mean, but that's fair. That's pretty much every game that you want to get into. You have to beat it before you can really start speed running it. And at the same time, I don't want it to be only people who have necessarily played it for years have access to the cards to even qualify for one of the categories. So I know 1 through 10 was probably really short, but I'm probably even going to look at having a shorter category. I think I mentioned that either 1 through 5, 1 through 7, maybe both. I don't know. we'll leave it open to the community. Um, we could definitely open up a separate, um, what is it, channel? Yeah, channel on the Discord server, and have that just dedicated to speedrunning if we did have a group of you guys who really wanted to take this on and really see how far we could go with just driving these times down to zero. And then the other major concern is that the loading screens are going to be different depending on what device you're using. So I can tell you I'm using an iPhone 7. It's pretty old actually. And I don't know how much faster the game loads on other devices. So I would be curious to see that. And, after talking with some people who speedrun other games, there's ways to mitigate, you know, the fact that screens will load longer on different pieces of hardware. Like I've never played this game on Android, so I have no idea how long an Android loading screen is. You guys let me know in the comments to my loading screens. Do they seem fast? Do they seem slow? Is that really going to be something that we have to account for? I think it'd be certainly interesting to start looking into. I mean, it's probably a facet of this game that's never been explored before, so that's always exciting to just try and look at a piece of the game that's never been looked at, really take it apart and see if there's anything that we can do to either even the playing field or weird settings in the game that you can use. The only one I can think of is there's a setting about loading ads, because you can watch 5 ads to get extra dust every day. And I think there's a setting in there, and I'd be curious, maybe turning that on or off might affect your loading screens, but I don't know. Man, I had way too many extra cards. I had way too much extra health. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna really have to dig into this deck and figure out what I can rip out of it to really just get it optimized down through all 1 through 20. I don't think I could ever go like sub 10. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I probably, you don't ever want to say you can't do something because then, I don't know, then you set a precedent. I mean, that'd be probably a really difficult goal, but potentially an achievable one. I know I said I wanted to go sub 5 in the other category, but to do the whole thing twice, that seems a lot more difficult. Apparently, I didn't room. That's bizarre. Just gonna be like ever so slightly short of beating Francois. All right. Well, that's the end of the heroics run. I had way too much health, way too many cards. The video is going to be extra long because I have extra ramblings at the end. But let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're interested in running the game. Let me know if you are interested in potentially being a moderator on the speedrun.com site. Obviously you need to be a speedrunner of the game. I think I'm potentially the only one right now. I hope I'm not the only one for very much longer. But yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this whole thing now that you've seen it in 2 different capacities. But with that, I will let you go. Thanks. Bye.